uh, I like to share something that relate to research. So that's why my title is, I put a case study for statistic courses. So it will be more likely to research. Okay. Okay. Again, why we choose statistic? Because my degree is in statistic from Carleton University, Ottawa, Canada. And then I continue master degree in 1998 um, in UKM, master in statistics, and then I proceed also PhD in statistics from UKM in 2005. So complete my PhD 2010, which is quite a little bit late from my colleagues like Dr. Zarina, Dr. Shariffah, Dr. Zaita, and Dr. Haiza. Okay, so that is our batch. Okay. So the title is Online Collaborative Learning. So what we need to know is first, we will start. This is my outline. So I will brief a little bit definition on collaborative learning, the importance of collaborative learning, and how we want to get started with collaborative learning. So I have one case study, but this one is face-to-face collaborative learning. And then we will proceed with online collaborative learning tool and strategies. They will interact in order to get to the solution. So why we want to use collaborative learning? Okay, so the first point, okay, that I searched because of development of higher level thinking. Okay, for example, let's say if we have two or three students, or two or three heads is better than one. So through peer instruction, the student can teach each other in order to address their misunderstanding or misconcept about certain. So they need to communicate in order to solve that solution. Okay, so they need to interact with the other students. So initially, it will improve their communication skills. The third one, self-management and also leadership skill. Of course, when we divide students in a group, they have to appoint a leader. Okay, then a leader have to decide the role of each team member. So that's what we already use when we conduct an assignment or project. Okay. And then this, when they have their role, it will increase the student responsibility. Okay. And lastly, it will prepare the student for real life social and also employment situation. Okay, because outside when we have they already work outside, they need to collaborate. So if they know how to communicate or interact with each other, so it's better preparation for them. Okay, how we want to get started with collaborative learning. So this is, I just focus on face-to-face collaborative learning. So we have two, either short time or long time. So short time, that's mean during the class collaborative learning activities. So in order to conduct these activities, okay, we need to introduce the task, introduce the topic to the student, give a clear instruction, okay? And then we provide student with enough time to engage with the task. Okay, for example, let's say 10 to 20 minutes, they discuss, and then lastly, we call on a few students to share the summary of their conclusion. Okay, and then those other students can comment and give some feedback. But if we have a long time during the class or during the seminar or study group, maybe we give the opportunities for students to develop rapport and group cohesion through ice breaking, team building, and also reflection exercise. And also, we need to give students enough time to engage with the task, assign the role. So assign role is important to the students, so they know their responsibility to do the task in order to conduct the task. Allow students to rate each other's quality and also quantity of contribution. So this one is more likely to be a peer assessment. So again, as an instructor, we need to check the progress on the groups. Okay, how they are doing, what are the problems, what are the limitations. Okay, so we need to interact with the student. Okay, but we'll also at the same time we encourage the student to handle their own issues. Okay, so lastly, maybe the instructor need to have the feedback from the student. So the student need to write something on their self-reflections. Okay.
Dr. Shariffah, sorry for the interruption. There is something block your
Slide.
yes. Dekat ada
Sekejap.
macam
Saya move ni. Boleh ke? Is it okay?
dia tutup FS tu. Tak boleh delete box tu tak boleh pangkar.
Aduh.
It's okay. Boleh lah tu.
Boleh eh?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's better. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, this is my first case study again. Actually, this one is on the first semester of 2019-2020. So I have 76 students. So this one is from chemistry student. Okay. So what I did is it's just a collaborative learning through tutorial exercise. I think every one of us already done this one. So I give a tutorial exercise through e-learning, okay, and then I assign a group member through e-learning one day before the class, okay. So actually the tutorial question contain more than 10 questions. So that's why in here I have a large group because again I have 76 students. So to minimize my time in marking their tutorial exercise, so I decide to have 10 to 11 members for each group. Okay. So the student can decide when they want to discuss the tutorial question. So some student decide to discuss outside the classroom. Okay. So this is a little okay. Some of the pictures that a student need to send to me as a proof when they conduct the collaborative learning. Okay. At the end, they will upload the solution through WhatsApp, email, or e-learning. Okay. So again, this is face-to-face collaborative learning and it's much more easier for us to handle them as an instructor. Okay, so the next one, again, face-to-face collaborative learning, but we have a small group, okay, same students, okay, but when we conduct collaborative learning again, we need to give a clear instruction. So again, students are grouped by their lecturer, so that is the reason why students are grouped by their lecturer, okay, because we want them to interact with each other. Tak kisahlah bangsa apa, okay. So each group member must define their role, which include a leader, problem solver, collaborator, and etc. And this role must be defined clearly in the assignment report. Okay, so at least I request them at least 3 minutes meeting for discussion, and the discussion and attendance in the meeting must be recorded and attached with the assignment report. For example, details when, where to meet, who does what, the discussion, etc. are to be recorded part of the assignment. And lastly, again, I ask them to provide me photos of their group discussion. And on the same time, since they are so creative, so we just ask the student to create a short video, maximum only 3 minutes, to compile all their activities during the assignment. Okay. So from this collaborative learning, actually, when we have small groups, they can communicate very well. And again, this approach can encourage the learners to become active participants in the learning process. Even though maybe we find that the student is just a quiet student in the class, but when it comes to learning process, need discussion, they will learn how to communicate, okay, and learn how to interact with others. So it's helped them very much lah, okay, I think so. Okay. So this is for face-to-face collaborative learning. So again, online collaborative learning. So online collaborative learning is actually the same definition, collaborative learning, but we just use online tools for based on my understanding. Okay. So since we have development of modern technologies, so this one it has made it possible for any remote students to working together with their lecturer and peers to learn new skill and gain knowledge. Where again, distance and time are no longer barrier, so it is tak ada halangan dah . Okay, so in order to ensure that students stay inspired and focus on learning is quite challenging. So what we need to do, we need to provide them effective technique or resources for learning activities. Okay, so how we want to conduct the resources or learning activities tu is actually is depend on us lah. Okay, how creative we are. Okay, for me, I think I proceed the same thing, but more interaction with the students. Okay, so online collaboration tools, again, we need software. So I think collaboration, the tools for learning, okay, for online learning already discussed by Dr. Numa Alias. The same software, but actually we need to sure, okay, collaboration software needs to be secure and to have the features that will fit our purpose. Okay, so is it important? It is important, very important that the tool that we choose has a good functionality. So there is some tools that we can use. Normally students like to share their reports in Google Drive or their videos in Google Drive. They can use Google Document or Google Sheet. And then for interaction, live interaction, maybe some of the students use Skype, Webex or Google Meet. And then or Zoom. Okay, for discussion, maybe I think WhatsApp or Telegram is much more easier. Padlet maybe is we want to conduct in terms of feedback from the student, or we can arrange in terms of some activities, we can use also Padlet. Okay, for me in class, normally I use Google Meet, okay, because it's much more easier. And then I also use Padlet for feedback. WhatsApp and Telegram is more on discussion. Okay. So the strategies. Okay, I think everyone know the strategies. Okay, so I just highlight a few tips. So the first one, we need to have a clear definition of expectation and purpose. Okay, if I refer to the website that I already searched, since we are in mode of research, so that's why I find some literature review lah actually. Okay, literature review from the internet. So actually, to have a clear definition of expectation and purpose, so it needs to be clearly defined how a specific learning activity is relevant to the students, and then why the students need to be a part of that group. Okay, and then how working together will benefit them. So we have to explain. Okay, secondly, maybe we need to provide a clear instruction to students in a group. So clear instruction, that means we have to highlight what method they want to use, okay, or what kind of programming that they want to write the algorithm. And again, we need to set the time, the due date. Okay, so anything that relate how we want to conduct the instruction to the students. Okay, again, we emphasize on keeping group small. For example, let's say from 3 to 4% is much better. Okay, so the student can be active participants in during the discussion. And then again, from time to time, we need to monitor the progress of the assignment, asking this question, again asking if they have any problem with the assignment and etc. Okay. So lastly, we need to plan the activities relevant to the topic. Okay, activities. So that's my the student maybe find that it is interesting to have that sort of activities. So they feel that they need to do that activity in order to gain some knowledge on that topic. Okay, so that is the strategies. Okay. So this is my second SEM lecture for inferential statistics, and I am so lucky to have only 20 students, one subject. So on the same time, MCO, So Alhamdulillah. Okay. Um, so actually, my class lecture for information statistics, since this is a combination of the third year student from 3 SSEM and also pure student for SSAE, elective courses. So I just conduct my lecture synchronized during the real time. Um, okay. This lecture is conduct via Google Meet. Um, I like to use Google Meet because actually it's easier to share and then to record on the same time. So and also to set the meeting. So we just set through the Google Calendar, and then it will remind us. And then again, if we finish by the recording, so the recording session is already uploaded. The video is already uploaded in our email. Okay, so we didn't lost the recording. Okay. And again, for this class exercise, I use Telegram. Normally during the lecture, I again conduct during the real time. So at the end of lecture, normally I post one question. Okay, so I ask the student to discuss and post their solution in the Telegram. Okay, so when one student already showed the solution, the other student will comment and check their friend's solution. Okay, so it's much more easier for them to communicate, and at the same time, more and more students will post their solution in the Telegram. So that is how I think that is how they collaborate. Maybe peer learning lah, peer learning. Okay, and we as an instructor just monitor and give some feedback or comment on the students' effort. Okay. Okay. So lastly, actually, this case study, okay, for information statistics. So this is a group project assignment. Okay, I assign 3 to 4 members per group. So they have to define the role of each team member. The same thing, what medium they use for communication, and I ask them to provide at least 3 minute meeting minutes. Okay, so the question is more on problem solving. Okay, the first part is on problem solving. Second part is how they want to use a real data and conduct R programming using R programming software in order to derive get to the solution. Because this one is on parameter estimation, so they have to know how to program a little bit coding on algorithm, use the parameter estimation, MLE, maximum likelihood method, and also method of moment. Okay, so they need to give some reflection, explain what is their strength and also weakness of that groups. Okay. Okay. Again, they use Telegram to communicate with me. Okay, this is one example that student asking instruction from me. Okay, to have giving a clear instruction, and how they discuss with their team member. There is using WhatsApp chat. Okay, they need to post this one in the assignment. They need to attach this one. And some of the students using WhatsApp video call. Okay, and then also Google Hangout and also Skype. Okay, since I don't have many students, so I think I have only 5 project assignment to assess. Okay, so at the end, I ask the student to give some reflection. So this is the reflection from one of the team. Okay, again, as you can see here, the given assignment was challenging, and sometimes some of the tasks were beyond our statistical knowledge we have learned right now. Okay, and they need to have more learning resources in order for them to complete the report. And again, exploration of relevant learning resources indirectly arouse their curiosity, and eventually they tend to learn more. Okay, so this is, they need to use from internet and also from reference textbook in order to solve that question. Secondly, the benefits from programming tasks that I already give them. They learn how to utilize their abstract mathematical concept into computational algorithm. and they know how to link between theoretical statistics and also machine learning. Okay, process of working with data set, and then how they want to develop a predictive model. So again, from this project, we acquire a few coding skills that needed for statistician to stay ahead in industry version 4.0. So this is reflection from them, bukan saya yang add dia punya comments, okay? And lastly, because for this information statistic, they can choose their own teammate. So again, they were team with peers having similar aim and also interest. So they are really appreciated. Okay. So lastly, I show you the feedback from the students. So again, I use Padlet. Padlet is for me is only for feedback. As you can read from here. So again, the subject is quite interesting, although it is pretty tough and it's quite challenging. But if let's say if we read from this one, from choosing the best parameter to determine the most suitable test, we need to play around with various statistical theorems. So that is correct, because inferential statistics, they need to learn various density function. Okay. But things go more complicated when the concept apply in the special statistical distribution, for example, normal, Poisson, gamma, and then they also have log normal, etc. Okay. So therefore, a solid understanding skill is a must to learn in this course overall, but still they found that this course is quite interesting and also challenging. So again, inferential statistics has sharpened my logical thinking skill. So from the feedback that I get from my student, um, it makes us think that what we need to do for future punya learning activities, and is the activities that we done so far is helping them or not. Okay. So that is the feedback from the students. Okay, so this is all for my presentation, my sharing session, and I also would like to share. Okay, to share something. Okay. This is a video that I compile lah. I ask my daughter to compile for me, okay, for this purpose of sharing session. Okay, so that's all. Thank you to all who joined this session. Okay, I go back to Dr. Fuada as the moderator.
Thank you, Dr. Sharifah, for your wonderful sharing. Very interesting sharing. So I'm sure that there are participants that want to ask you question. Anyone want to ask question? You
Yeah,
can you
okay,
can you can
understood.
speak up. Ada yang nak tanya soalan? Or you want to share something?
I appreciate if there is any comments. Dr. Normalias ada nak komen?
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Sharifah.
Ya, Dr. Zainal.
I have well, first of all, thank you very much for a wonderful presentation, sharing session, especially the video. So, okay, I want to ask you how frequent do you apply this collaborative learning during your course delivery? Thank you.
Okay, actually, okay, face to face lah. Okay, face to face, I think as we know lah, peer learning is also part of collaborative learning. So if we want to say how frequent, I think every time of the lecture. Okay, because peer learning is also part of collaborative learning. But when it involves in groups, okay, small group of larger groups, okay, larger groups lah, okay, or the assessment that we need to give the marks, okay. So we need to have a proper instruction, maybe during the assignment project, okay, where we have around maybe one project assignment. Okay, that is for our undergraduate. But because I also taught foundation program, I think every day my lecture is on collaborative learning because the student is just finish their SPM, so more like macam budak-budak, so they are enjoy when they can collaborate with each other. Kalau foundation, yes, we can introduce many kind of activities because dia orang macam budak-budak sikit, so seronok. It's very interesting to teach them for me. That's all, Dr. Zainal. Maybe other lecturer can have a different opinion. I don't know.
Thank you, Dr. Sharifah, for your answer.
Thank you, Dr. Zarina, for the question. So any question, any other question or another sharing or maybe comment?
I feel like I want to ask another question related to teaching first year students, if you don't mind. When you do collaborative activity in the class, is there any students that simply don't want to participate in the collaborative learning activities just because they know everything, or um, they feel awkward, or free rider, or bonceng and gratis like that? Do you have any kind of student like that?
Okay. For first year students about recently I teach chemistry student. So chemistry student for me ini even though they are Malay, Chinese, Indian, they can interact each other very well compare our math student. It's very enjoyable to teach them compare our math student. Math student maybe their thinking is quite different from chemistry student. So I don't know why, but maybe some of the student is quite reluctant to join the join the discussion with their friends. They tend to communicate maybe just the student they believe that they can help them lah. For example, the same races or whatever. I'm sure that is the problem for certain subject. Okay. Jawab saya pun tak sure. Okay. Sebab kalau let's say if we refer back to the foundation student, recently my foundation student again, macam-macam races ada. So Indian, Chinese, and also Malay, and also Sabah and Sarawak. Okay, but tak tahu lah, from the high school maybe they didn't go to STPM, so they just from SPM. So it's quite different situation that we have to handle for foundation student. Because I'm very close to my student, even though he or she is a Chinese student or whatever races, still we can get connected, and still they can appreciate me as a lecturer. Actually, apa nak cakap ya? They need to respect us, even though we give instruction, need them to discuss in a class. Please participate kan. Susah juga lah sebenarnya. Tak sure lah, Dr. Zarina, if I answer your question or not. Maybe ada lecturer if they want to comment their experience. Dr. Fuada, how about your experience?
So I think very much thank you for your answer, Dr. Shariffah, because I think this is a challenge when we do like collaborative learning. Is actually for making sure that everyone participate in the learning activities. Everyone should enjoy learning together, and then everyone should earn benefits from this collaborative learning instead of sitting back, basically don't want to involve with others, because we want hopefully instead of not only to tackle the technical competency skills, they also need to excel in generic skills, the model insan, isn't it? Because we are aiming to produce global students. So for me, it's a challenge to face this kind of scenario when students reluctantly join or participate in active or collaborative learning activities that we design for them. So thank you very much, Dr. Shariffah.
Okay. And one more thing, I want to add for inferential statistic. Actually, inferential statistic, I know the student very well. I know the background of the student because I already taught them during their mathematical statistic during their second year. So I know who is the weakness student, who is very good in math stat, and I can predict what grade of the student can get during my inferential statistic. That is quite important jugalah dalam kita punya teaching, sebab kita dah develop kita punya interaction, good interaction with the students. So I think that's helped me in order to attain my EPP for this semester. And one more thing, I also have my anak PA in my class. So again, that helps me. Okay, so thank you, Dr. Fada.
I guess that is a very important point you highlighted, Dr. Shariffah, because I believe we need to get very close to the students, get to know them, and to hold them so that the respect. Respect
is important.
Yeah.
Even yelah macam kita, let's say kita dulu with our lecturer, we are highly respect to our lecturer. Even though if we want to go in, let's say naik lift bersama, let's say kita at least kita benarkanlah kita punya lecturer tu naik dulu seorang-seorang, and then we go ramai-ramai dalam lift tu. Is that true? Right? So that is situation that we have to handle lah. Dia punya, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. Thank you.
Dr. Shariffah, we got a question from Nurul Aini. Dalam kelas doktor, pemilihan group member, student boleh pilih sendiri atau doktor yang susun?
Okay, if I have a larger group, normally I arrange the student. I choose the group for the student. But for my case in differential statistics, and one is online. So I asked them to choose their team member. Okay, because they know already dia punya friends lah So itu.
So Farhana, Dr. Sharifah, apa cabaran yang paling besar bila buat collaborative learning ni ya?
Cabaran paling besar during the, kalau macam face to face, I think in order for let's say not face to face and also if we have a larger groups. If we have a larger group, so it's quite difficult for us to mark their assignment. Okay, macam nak adil tu, dari segi adil tu we have rubric how we want, how many marks that we want to give for this part and this part. Okay, so that we need to make sure we have a clear understanding on how we want to give, how we want to assess that assignment. But for small groups, and also online, how we want to make sure that student doing their job. So that's why I asked the student to actually to record, to share some video on their progress during their activities while doing the assignment. Itulah cabarannya. So, macam mana kita nak percayalah pada pelajar kita buat. Itu.
Soalan daripada saya lah. Bila buat collaborative learning ni, doktor ada prepare kan tak peer assessment? Maksudnya student dalam group tu dia assess kawan-kawan dia.
Dulu ada, sekarang tak. Dulu memang kita ada for team working. As I remember, dulu kita ada. But now tak ada. Tak ada sebab dalam, sebab kita punya CLO and PLO tu dah, kita punya PLO tu dah bertukar. It's not actually the team working skill lagi dah. So, itu kena juga lah sebenarnya. But actually, as for undergraduate, I think maybe kalau let's say one of their friends didn't do the activities, actually they just write their name. But for foundation is different. Foundation, as I said, macam budak-budak, so they will report to us who didn't do the assignment.
Betul. Dia mengadu.
It's different. So kita as instructor kena aware lah benda-benda macam tu.
Okay, is there any question?
Saya.
Okay.
Saja seronok Dr. Sharifah dia punya sharing. So satu pendapat, satu soalan lah. Pendapat saya tentang yang kita punya EPP marks tu, betul lah sebab based on dengar-dengar cerita kawan yang mengajar engineering, dia susah sangat nak dapat.
Betul.
Susah lah maksudnya, tapi kalau yang dapat P4, P5 tu saya memang tabik kat dia orang sebab dia orang tak kenal sangat student engineering tu. Tapi sebab dapat P4 kan, dia memang dia punya hubungan dengan student tu memang baik betul lah yang membuatkan dia orang student tu evaluate dia sampai P4, P5 betul. Tapi kalau kita kat fakulti sains ni, mostly macam Kak Syarifah cakap lah, kita pernah ngajar budak tu. Walaupun budak-budak dalam kelas tu adalah anak PA kita, betul? So memang automatically dia macam dia punya relationship tu dia memang dah ngam gila lah sebelum ni. Sebab tu lah dia orang pun macam dah best. Sampai tahap next time ajar lagi boleh, macam tu lah kan. So I think EPP tu because of the point penting adalah sebab relationship je. Saya rasa lah. Okay. Jujur juga dengan Dr. Syed buat itu, dia suka tengok yang report SEO tu Yang tu pun bagus juga kot untuk tengok kita punya evaluation tu. Okay, so the question pula, pendapat saya juga. Soalannya pula, sebab tengok banyak assignment collaborative learning yang Kak buat ni, adakah semua ni prepare awal-awal ataupun macam tengah-tengah mengajar tu baru nak bagi tambah macam tu lah. Sebab banyak macam tu macam tu. Okay, itu soalannya.
Okay, let's say kalau macam project assignment because kita nak grade kita punya students. So that is very well prepared lah. Okay, for example, let's say macam inferential statistic tu memang because ini subjek yang kita ajar seorang, so memang saya very well prepared. And actually ni the first time saya add dia punya programming tools tu. Before this saya tak pernah suruh student add some programming or coding in the assignment report. Okay, but for yang first year statistik tu because ada penyelarasan, biasanya one of our lecturers lah. Okay, that question is actually Dr. Zarina yang buat for first year punya subject for statistic 1 tu. So it's very well prepared. Tapi kalau in class tu actually macam soalan yang kita memang kita nak buat, kita nak solve, tapi kita minta student to solve dululah. Kita dah ajar one example and then we proceed with another question and we ask student to discuss and so on and post their solution in Telegram. Sebab again dalam saya punya, sebab saya buat Google Meet synchronized real time, and again because I only have 20 student, so all the names of the student I already remember in my head, so tak perlu tengok attendance list pun saya boleh sebut macam tu je. So that's why mungkin lah one of part student maybe rasa connected and really appreciate that their instructor or their lecturer know their names very well. Tu je. Dr. Nur mau jawab soalan ke?
Boleh ke saya nak tambah sikit?
Sure, no problem.
Saya nak tambah sedikit tentang EPPP evaluation. For me, I totally believe that everyone is excellent. Every staff, every lecturer is already excellent in delivering their content. Sebab EPPP is based on mean average. Maknanya, for me lah, in my opinion, okay, even kalau ada one or two students who mark you or who rate you 111, this can actually drag your point, your mark, your EPPP average to the lower value. So don't be motivated. Don't be demotivated ataupun discouraged with if you get EPPP less than 5, because if you look at your mode, your median, for example, median, if people regards EPPP values are numerical, then you can look for median. I believe your median is already high, so don't be demotivated or discouraged when your student mark you or if you get average EPPP lower than P4 or P5. That's what my opinion is lah about EPPP.
Thank you, Dr. Zarina, for your sharing. Okay, any question? Any other? So if there is no more question, so before we dismiss, I want to share something from our beloved director. Just a second.
Assalamualaikum dan ceramah atas perkongsian yang terakhir secara online pengajaran secara saya dengan ini kita dapatkan sains ini menyerahkan sedikit saja.
Okay, so thank you very much, Dr. Shariffah, for your sharing and for all the attendees. Thank you for your time. So we have another session tomorrow, and don't forget this afternoon we have a session from the PM Dr. Naziha from SIDU. So it is also very good information that you can get from that. So see you this afternoon and also tomorrow. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Fada. Thank you all.